Welcome to the porch. Pull up a seat and say hello to your hosts, Michelle Moross and Brian Swanson.
What's so funny?
I'm not used to hearing your voice talking like this. Welcome to Denim and Pearls, your host, Michelle and Brian. Hello, my name is Michelle Moross.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
with pearls of wisdom
from the proverbial porch. Welcome and thank you for joining us. We are doing something new today on Denim and Pearls. We are live streaming at the same time on Clubhouse, and we're trying something new. We opened a room in Clubhouse called Denim and Pearls. So if you're ever out and about and you can't get to YouTube or Facebook, you can jump onto Clubhouse if you have an account and listen in and jump on the stage with us and all sorts of fun things like that. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it's a different way to do it. And if you haven't heard of Clubhouse, it's another social media site, and it's all verbal. So it's like being on the phone with 700 people.
It's a party line.
It is. Hey, there you go. It's a new party line. And there's all kinds of topics out there. I mean, there's all kinds of rooms out there that you can get on. And it doesn't matter what topic you want. You can set it up for, to show you the favorite ones or the best ones or whatever. And it's really cool. So get on, like, share. And if you can't get in, part of it is because you have to go in by invitation only. So everybody's limited to their invitations. So keep that in mind. You might think somebody's going to just invite you. It doesn't necessarily happen because you only get so many invites per something. We haven't figured that part out
yet. Yeah. I got one. And then as I grew, and I think I got a couple more followers, and then I got two more. So they come in drips. So what I had done to get mine is I put an announcement out on Facebook, and I got the invite almost immediately. So if you really, really want to get on, say, hey, does anyone have a Clubhouse that invite? And they'll invite you in. They have to make sure that you have an iPhone. It's only for iPhones. It does not work on your computer. And the other thing that was a caveat is whoever invites you must have your phone number. So something to think about.
Must be in your contacts.
But to say we are streaming, see, I've got my headset because we are on Clubhouse on our phones, and then we're live with you all on StreamYard, Facebook, and, of course, YouTube. While I'm saying that, thank you for watching Denim and Pearls, and if you could do us a really, really big favor by subscribing to the Denim and Pearls Facebook page and our YouTube page, because numbers, numbers, numbers. We always like to say that. And if you're interested in being a sponsor with Denim and Pearls, we'd love for you to be so. So that's a lot of so's. Please write to Denim and Pearls. What's our email? denimandpearls@gmail.com, or better yet,
Denim and Pearls Podcast. It's right there on the screen.
Denim and Pearls Podcast @gmail.com. And better yet, just go to Facebook and write us on through the messenger on Denim and Pearls and say, hey, send me the information on being a sponsor for Denim and Pearls. Sounds good?
Sounds good to me.
We also want to say thank you to Mr. John Mortensen for doing our logo. I want to say thank you again. And then lastly, help. I need somebody. Help.
Yeah, I don't sing, remember? Help.
Yes. Well, I want to make sure I was looking down at Clubhouse to make sure that our room was still open and that we didn't have a lock on it. But our topic today, we called it help because in our last episode, in the very last couple of minutes, we got into the subject of coaching and how do you know when you've got the right coach, or when do you know if you need a coach?
I think that's a bigger question to start off with, is if you need a coach. Mm-hmm. Some of us are arrogant enough. We don't need nothing.
Some of us are more self-aware and we do. I need help with this. Well, and the thing about coaching is, there's a lot. We got into that subject in the last episode was you can find coaching on YouTube. It's the University of YouTube. You can Google a lot of things that you're looking for. It's once you get narrowed down to what you're looking for, where you think you need help, and you're like, I'm not quite sure. I could be this, it could be that. I really don't know. That's when you want to find a coach that can see you from the outside and say, okay, this is really where your issue's lying. This is where we want to focus. And that's how we got into the subject of how do you even know if you want a coach, need a coach, and then how do you find one that actually matches you.
Well, I like that YouTube University thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good concept. However, one thing that I recognize today is you don't necessarily know who's behind the camera.
Oh, heck no.
Or in front of the camera, I guess you could say, because they might be teaching you something and it sounds really good, but do they have the proven credentials in order to actually get you to where you want to go? You've got to know also where you're at and where you want to go. If you want to increase, say, your income by, $1,000 a month, well, there's some great coaches out there. If you want to increase your income by $10 million a month, well, first of all, it's going to take you a while to get to that point, but you're going to need a different coach.
You're going to need a coach that can get you to that. Yeah, big time.
Right.
And Brian and I were
actually
talking
have
about
one
that.
that's too big.
Yeah, you have to find the happy
You're not
medium.
talking the same language. This is something I learned a long time ago. And I'll use an example. I was at an event.
Wait. We've got to recognize two people, okay? Because the comments are coming in faster than I can read them. So the first one is, Nicholas says, you may not feel you need a coach, but it can't hurt and you can only benefit. And then
Agreed.
Michael says, everyone could use a coach, but not always easy to find the right person. And we are addressing that today.
And that's one of those big ones that we will talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that this is not quite coaching, but it goes into that perspective is I had an example where I kind of got caught off guard. I went to an event here a few years ago. I think it was a chamber event. It was big and it was fancy. And I happened to be there early. And I ran across this gentleman who was there. And he looked at me and he says, we just kind of started conversing and stuff. And he's like, well, my wife needs a 4-wheel drive to drive around Colorado Springs in. I was like, sounds like a great idea, right? Okay. What kind of cars have you looked at? Have you looked at maybe, say, the Subaru? Well, I didn't think it was such a bad question. However, his response was like, that's so far beneath me. There's no way I would ever look at that. So I'm like, learn my lesson at that point that you also have to be talking the language of the person you're talking to. Because I kind of insulted him in a way, but I wasn't aware of the insult. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't upset or anything, but I felt about this high.
That's why a good coach knows the right questions to ask. I don't go into a coaching session. Well, I don't go into a coaching session assuming I know everything about the other person. That's why it starts with so many questions. And now I'm not asking questions because I want to be the perfect fit for the person across from me. I'm asking questions to make sure they're a perfect fit for me. As a coach,
well, you at least, for the reason for that story is the fact that you've got to at least be talking on the same level.
But questions get you to the same level. Before you ever offer any advice, your first questions would be, a 4-wheel drive. What kind of cars are you looking at the moment? Right. What kind of interest, what are you looking at? What kind of interest are you have? And ask them around the questions to find out where their demographic is before you say, have you tried a Subaru?
Right. And I agree with that. And that's something that I have learned. Mm-hmm. But at that moment in time, I was just like befuddled because, hey, big word of the day, befuddled. I was really lost with the guy because I felt embarrassed because I wasn't talking on his level. Not that his level was higher than mine or anything like that. It just, we were not on the same level. We were not on the same playing field. And I think the same comes to asking your coach the same question, that prospective coach the same thing.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You're not a coach. So you're not programmed to ask the questions in that kind of situations. You weren't doing that. So that's why when I say I'm interviewing you as much as you're interviewing me when it comes to coaching, because people who work with me are at a different level than your average person coming in saying, I think I might need a coach. The people that come to me are, I need a coach. I want from here to here. I mean, they're very specific of what they want by the time they reach me. So when I'm meeting someone as a potential coaching client, I need to see what level they're at. And we ask a lot of questions. And then when they're not at my fast pace move, I know a lot of other coaches that can help you right now. And then later on, you could probably grow to want me at this level. And it sounds pretentious, but it isn't. Coaches are coaches for several different levels and layers. Like when I first became a coach myself, I wanted to go coach with one of the top coaches in the world. I wasn't ready for him.
Right.
Working with John Maxwell and Paul Martinelli and all these huge people. And it's like, whoa, okay, maybe I should stop down a little bit lower and then I'll reach back up later. And so I did. But, you got to know yourself enough to know when you're meeting someone who was sincere and speaking your language.
For sure. One thing too, and I think we'll cover this a little bit later, is you may feel, especially with a first coach, and I learned this lesson. I found a coach and I thought that gentleman was going to be able to take me to another level. I outgrew him in like 2 months.
Well, that's another thing you need to understand.
So
Now, wait, I've got to say something real quick, because there are people who have joined us on Clubhouse, and I want you all to know that we are actually live streaming on Facebook and on YouTube right now with Denim and Pearls. And so you are sidelining with our conversation here on Clubhouse. But if you'd love to join the conversation, just come out to the YouTube page of Denim and Pearls, or on the Facebook page, which is, of course, Denim and Pearls, because we can't chat on Clubhouse, right?
Well, we can. They can listen in, and then if they got questions, we can. In fact, I think we'll do that for those who stick around to the end of the show.
Oh, they can use their hands.
What's that?
Oh, so we can come on to Clubhouse later and answer questions or keep the conversation going. Ooh, I love that.
Exactly. So we'll just keep the conversation going, kind of like the after party.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we are trying something, not trying. We are doing something new. We are expanding our Facebook and YouTube onto Clubhouse just to see how it works, because we have different groups and different demographics on all three platforms. We want to reach all of you at once. So we're playing with technology. Thank you very much, Brian.
Yes.
So back to coaching. Our topic is help. How do you know when you need a coach? How do you recognize if you need a coach, and what level coach do you need? And does it even matter what level coach? No, it's more of what do you need at the time. And when you're talking to that coach, potential coach, do they jive with you? Do you feel comfortable with them? And do you feel that they're going to move you to the next level that you're after?
Well, I think one key factor too, a lot of people are going to ask, is how much does a coach cost?
It varies. There is no real price on coaching. I mean, sometimes you'll have a coach that says, "Oh, I'll coach you for $250 an hour." Then you'll have some coaches that say, "Oh, $5,000, and you've got me for a week."
Yeah, well, there's others out there too. I've heard of it, $100,000 an hour.
Oh yeah. Well, my main coaching when I first started, I was $30,000 for 8 months.
Right.
Yeah. So different levels for different, different strokes for different folks. So what makes you feel comfortable? What you want to work for? What do you want to grow to? I mean, some people will look at me and do, "Wow, Michelle is ridiculously, expensive." Then others look at me and do, "Why so low? You're a high power executive coach. Why so low?" And in my mind is, I have it low enough to make you understand that I'm affordable, but high enough to make it hurt that you stay accountable. I'm more about what's happening in your head and keeping you engaged. And if I say, it's $1,000 for, a month, you're to $1,000, I can do that. Right, Brian? You can go to a gambling spot. Boom, that's gone like in a second. So to him, it's like, why $1,000? Well, you're not worth it for me. So I move my price so people realize, okay, if I'm going to work with this person, I better keep working to make it worth my while.
Well, let's kind of flip back to the beginning. So let's say I'm brand spanking new, mm-hmm. and I'm looking I have this idea that I realize that I do need a coach. What am I going to look for? I'm going to look, in most cases, in fact, that's kind of what I did in the very beginning one, was who do I know that can get me results? Who do I know that can hold me accountable? Who do I know? And I was also thinking, I need somebody who's nice to me. So what am I looking for as a newbie for a coach?
You need to go meet people virtually at this point, but people who make you feel comfortable, but to a point, okay? The whole point of having a coach and paying someone to help you move to another level or breaking you past your comfort zone is not for them to coddle you and say, oh, you did a good job. Well, it's okay. You don't have to do anything new. Just keep doing what you're doing and I'll keep patting. No, you don't want that in a coach. You want someone to say, okay, what's your goals? Okay, what do you want? Now let's set up a plan for what's next in your world so we can move you to the next level. What do you see in a year? What do you see in 5 years? What do you see in 10 years? And really what you're learning from a coach is it's not every time you meet them, you're actually planning for much further out. And what the coach is doing is your guide to make sure you stay accountable. Honestly, I see coaches more of as a big picture person to see you as you really are. They see the talent in you already that you don't see, and then be an accountability person in your world to keep you moving. The other thing I see coaches do is connectors. We connect you to the next things that you need. So like if you need, pay services or, accounting services, we know people in different places that can help you. So a coach does a lot of things depending on what you need. Me, I'm a success coach. I say success coach because I also help with your speech, how you present, and your messaging for when you talk about your business. So I add a couple of other things into what my coaching practice is. It's not just business. It's also your mind and how you talk. So different coaches do different things. So that's why the prices change, okay? And it's all up to your comfort level to what you're willing to do.
Okay, so one question I have too is, if you're a guy, should you hire a guy coach?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's what you're comfortable with. Now, if you're going to go into a coach with a coach and do, ooh, she is so fine. No, don't do that.
That's not the kind of coach I was talking about, but okay.
No, but if you meet a person and you think she is a hot coach, don't take her as a coach because you're distracted. Okay. Most of my clients are men. They tend to be men. And it's because I'm very direct. I don't know. I guess it's the military in me. I'm a tough chick. I don't know. But a lot of my clients tend to be men. And part of the process is, how are we doing? If you flirt in any way, shape, or form, I don't take you. So just because you're a man doesn't mean you need a male coach. Sometimes if you're a woman, doesn't mean you need a female coach. And my thing is whoever's going to move you, whoever you tend to respect and move with, you don't have to have same sex. Actually, I think it works better in the cases I've seen that the men are able to actually tell me more things that they would not have told another man.
Well, I asked the question because there's so much stuff out there that it's women based. Let me coach you to be a stronger woman. Let me empower you. A lot of these coaches will say those kind of things. I'm a woman and I've experienced a woman's a woman's life, and you're a woman, so I can empower you much better than what a man does. Is that a purpose to stay on the track like that?
That's their choice as coaches. They're more comfortable speaking to other women, so they want to stay with other women. It's different strokes for different folks. It's what they want to do. I've had many, many challenges in my life, but to me, it's not a female problem. So therefore, my growth process has nothing to do with me being a woman. Cancer gets to everybody. Brain injuries and PTSD goes to everyone, but making money is everybody. I can do that. Everyone needs to talk, right?
Right.
But if you have a subject matter that, menopause or whatever, of course it's going to be one level. Okay. It's,
right.
I'm a man and I want your menopausal coaching. No, it's not going to work. These coaches that say those kind of things personally and are more comfortable working with women. Okay.
Right.
Then there are men coaches out there that directly deal with men and their issues, and they're just called coaches. It's like everything else in the world. We have politicians, we have actors, then we have female this and female that. So there's coaches and then female coaches, which I cannot stand. So we'll get off that subject because coaches are coaches. If you need to move, you can move. You find the person that will work with you best, period. And Nicholas says, where do you find a coach? Well, multiple ways. When I was looking originally I'm a big John Maxwell fan. So I went to a John Maxwell site, looked up John Maxwell and looked up coaching. It gives you an entire list of everyone in your zip code. And then you can go through and look at their pictures. I mean, really, that's how I got some of my first coaching clients, is people looked up Colorado coaches and they scrolled through and found a happy face of Michelle and clicked it, and it gave them all my information to reach me. So if you have a follow that you like, a leadership guru of some sort, look up their name and write coaches next to it in Google, and they will show you a list of people that work with them or work under them. And the reason I say that is because here's the criteria, on coaching. There is not a wide world national association of coaches, okay? It's not regulated.
I was going to say, because that was going to be one of my other questions too, is everybody nowadays is a coach.
Everyone can be a coach.
You don't have to have a license for it. I wouldn't want there to be a license for it, honestly, but everybody's a coach these days. They just throw up a shingle and say, I'm a coach. Yes. It's almost like, I don't know, you just pick a poison and that's what I am. Yeah. So
and that's why you have to be careful with coaches. I mean, they don't need to have a certification, but if they're helping you and you really want to move, if they've shown in life that they can do it and they can show it to you that they can do it, that's great. Then you're just taking the chance. If they have a certification, you're also taking a chance, because they could just have a piece of paper and never have done anything in their lives. That's why I say you must meet them. People like me, yes, I have a certification. I've got a lot of certifications, but if I listed them out, you would have no clue what they are. So I don't say, hi, my name is Michelle Moras. I'm a John Maxwell coach. I'm a Sheely Learning, blah, 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 blah. I'm a disc. I don't say it all because it's gibberish to you. Do you show results? Yes or no?
Remember that story I used before? Those are pigtails.
Okay, you're going to have to clarify that.
Well, when a pig
wags
its tail, what good does it do?
Say it again.
I said, when a pig wags its tail, what good is it?
Oh, Bradley has something to say. Let's see how we can do this.
Oh, Bradley raised his hand.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you do it, or do I have to do it? Because I don't know how to do it.
Let me see what I can do here.
I got it. I think I got it. Hi, Bradley. Oh, wait, I can't do it. He's on my microphone.
There, I gave him a microphone. Bradley, can you hear us? Doing good, sir.
Okay. Oh, we can't be quiet. I have to keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking.
So, Nicholas, to answer your question about where to find a coach, you can Google it. You can go to networking meetings, and there's lots of them online now. So you can go and meet certain groups and find a demographic where there might be a coach and say, hey, I'm looking for a coach, because I'm telling you, everyone knows a coach. You just find your demographic and your genre that you're looking for a coaching for, and someone will point you in a direction. What was Bradley's question?
Well, Bradley didn't have a question right off the top, but I do have to explain to him before, so he doesn't run off on us. It's hard to keep Bradley. We're shooting this also live on Facebook and on YouTube. So we have to keep talking. Our watchers and viewers kind of wonder where we're at. So we will talk to you definitely for sure after we get done with everything.
On the after party, or come on to YouTube and write comments, and we should see them.
Yeah, either one.
Mm-hmm. We're checking on new technology, Bradley. We've combined Clubhouse, Facebook, and YouTube all at once. We're having a lot of fun here. So, okay, coaching. I'm very passionate about it. Don't hold the fact that someone doesn't have certifications behind their name against them. Sometimes people have some really good life experience that can really help you. Just because someone has certifications behind their name doesn't mean they're the best coach for you. Your best way to gauge this is you must be able to talk to them, be honest with them, and make sure that when you are talking with them, one, you feel that you're being moved to another level. You can be. Two, they are someone you trust enough that you're willing to share your darkest secrets with, because there are things in coaching that you must reveal in order to move to another level. And if you don't trust them, don't do it. And then thirdly, they need to be accessible. And I'm saying when you say, I need a coach, well, I can coach you for 15 minutes once a month. It's not going to work. Okay. You're going to need more time with them and say, okay, can I have an hour every 2 weeks? And can I text message you or send you a message, once every couple of, something where you have more than one pinpoint of communication, because in the coaching process, it's an evolving thing in your brain. And when you get stuck, you need that coach there to help you pull out of it so you can keep progressing to the next, phase of whatever you're going to before you meet again. So keep that in mind. It's all about relationships.
I think our secret is when we do this the next time, we need a moderator on Clubhouse.
Yeah, because I didn't look down and now we've lost all 4 of them. Yeah, because I can't see my phone unless I'm looking down, and I'm not looking down.
Right. But I think we'll be fine. I don't know. I've I've got thrown off because too many technologies going on at once.
Okay, so we won't do that anymore.
No, we're going to have to do this a little bit differently the next time. Excuse me.
So for those of you out there thinking you don't need a coach,
go ahead.
If they're wondering if they need a coach, I'm going back to Nicholas's question. You may not feel you need a coach, but can't hurt and can only benefit. There are coaches at different levels. If you think you're stuck and you need movement, find a coach, Google one in your zip code, talk to several of them and say, I just feel stuck. Can you talk to me? And then when they talk with you and you figure out, I have this gut feeling that they can move me. They experience something close to me, or, their background shows that, they can move me to another level, whatever it may be that will trip your trigger, that will help you move, go that way. And if it doesn't seem to be working, like Brian said, sometimes you outgrow coaches and you say, I gotta leave. I've got to find someone else who can challenge me. We're at commercial time. Thank you for
wipe
thank
the
you.
Sweat from my brow. Mom's got it awfully hot in here.
Oh, really?
She likes it warm.
Oh, why'd you move? Why is she way up there? She should be in Florida. Okay, so thank you for watching Denim and Pearls. My name is Michelle Moross, and this is my co-host, Brian Swanson. We are business casual
with pearls of wisdom
from the proverbial porch. I said proverbial. If you would like, and we would love it if you would, please go to and subscribe to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, or better yet, both. And then the other is, if you are interested in being a sponsor for Denim and Pearls, we are still seeking a few more sponsors. We're about to start putting those up. So go to Denim and Pearls podcast at gmail.com, email and say, hey, send me the agreement for sponsorship, and we'd love to send that to you. And you're looking at the man, Brian. He's in charge of that website. That is him. So please subscribe to the Denim and Pearls YouTube and Facebook page. We'd love to have you. Big things coming, and we'd love for you to be with us while we do. Our topic today is help. I need somebody help. And how do you know if you need a coach, where you need a coach, how to find a coach, and how do you know if it's a good fit? And then Nicholas just put in the YouTube channel in the chat here on the Facebook. Well, I don't know where he's putting it, probably on YouTube. And then I will share it again later on the different page. Any other questions? Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, please step in and ask us some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And share.
Yeah, another thing is, I want to go back to the fact of trying to find the coach. One of the big issues that I had before was, one, I had no idea how I was finding a coach. I didn't know that I wanted one. I didn't know that I needed one. I ran across somebody. They said, hey, I can help you. I can double your numbers, and I can help you do this, and I can help you do that. And I said, okay, fine. And I didn't really screen this individual. I'm not saying the person was bad. I'm nothing like that. But what I learned out very quickly was that we didn't have the same knowledge level, even though he was supposedly within my same field. Mm. I was actually getting better coaching from the group that I was within my personal field, the field of finance. Mm-hmm. I was getting better coaching from the people that were already there, been there, done that, doing that, as opposed to the guy that said, I can coach you to do that. So I look back and I go, I wasted quite a bit of money, if you will. I don't remember how much it was, but it was definitely quite a bit of money.
But here's the thing is you didn't waste it because you learned something very significant. Next time you need to interview that person, find out what they could have done and versus what they said they could do, and interview some of the people that have been coached by them in the past. Now you've learned that if you're going to find a coach, you need to know where they come from. You didn't waste your money. You just had a very expensive lesson.
A very expensive lesson. I think by the time I was done, it was like $6,000, maybe $9,000. Now, there were no promises made. I mean, he lived up to the contract. There were no promises made that he was going to do this. There were some questions that he also asked me that were very annoying. I won't give them away because it's kind of a trademark, but not a trademark, but a tell of who it is. But it was just like, that question is just, I've heard it so many other times since then that it really annoys me. It's kind of like, when mom and dad you were raised young and you were raised poor, and mom and dad always made you grilled cheese sandwiches. You won't look at a grilled cheese now to save your life. That's the same way I am with that particular question. I'm like, no, it's
well,
not.
You can't keep saying that particular question and not tell us what it is. So you either get off that subject or we're going to move. Because now we want to know what the question is. So you've got to skip that.
So the question was, so what's the answer?
Oh, a lot of them do that. Yeah.
My response was, I don't know. His response was, well, if you know the answer, what would it be? And I'm like, oh, it just drives me crazy.
Okay, so if you had done what I said and interviewed him beforehand and had a nice long conversation with him before you ever hired him, you would have known that was something he did and that you would not have hired him.
What did Nicholas ask?
Let me put it up. How often do people hire a coach that don't go anywhere with what the coach tried to impart on them? That is not the coach's problem.
No, and I would also say it's like joining a fitness club at the first of the year. Mm-hmm. That's where fitness clubs get all of their patrons, is at the first of the year for a year contract. And then 3 weeks into it, they're not going to the fitness center anymore. So same way with a coach. If you hire a coach, that coach is responsible to give you what they have. They're not responsible for you enacting what they've given you. So it's just like anything else. I was actually listening to this earlier on Clubhouse. Just because I get you the information, if you don't implement that information when you leave here, it's no good to you. So the same way with a coach. If a coach says, okay, I need you to put together a list of things, for instance, and bring that back to me the next time. Well, if you don't put that list of things together and you don't bring it, and you bring it back or go back to the coach and you don't have it, what good was that? You didn't follow through with what you're supposed to be learning. So it's the same idea. How often do you hire a coach and then don't go anywhere? Well,
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And that's why I said, if you are looking for a coach, you need to interview that coach. The thing is the coach is interviewing you. The reason why I'm very particular about who I take in as my coaching client is exactly that reason that you just said here. If I can see in that person that they are reluctant to change, although they say they want change and they want growth, but I can see in their personality, in their language, everything they've done, that even if I did give them an aha in their life, they would still drag their feet. I don't take them. So as a coach, it is also our responsibility to realize when someone is not made for us or not made for the way we work. Because if they don't move forward, what they do is they look at the coach and do, see, I used you, I paid money for you, and I did nothing. I got nothing from you. And it's really not us. It was the client. We can only give you info. We can only give you the knowledge we have, and we can give the guidance that we see and encourage you to do the different things that you may not have thought of doing. But we cannot force you to do it. There are three types of control in this world. There's my control, the other person's control, and God and the universe's control. And when you're in a coaching situation, it's the other person and the other person.
And I would agree. And I think there's that. And I think there's personalities that go a long way. There's trust things that go a long way. Yeah. The viability of the person who's speaking. And the other thing, and I learned this a long time ago with some of the other stuff that we've been doing, is there's certain people who will listen to you and look up to you and say, she's the greatest thing on the planet. And they look at me and go, well, he's an idiot. Or there's people who will do the other way around, and I'm the greatest thing on the planet, and I've given them the greatest information. And it could be the exact same information, but they might look at you and go, I'm not going to listen to the word she says.
It's called, the thing is everyone's looking for a particular voice that they need of authority. Okay. And right. We're not going to be the perfect fit for anybody or everyone. So it just is what it is. And that's why I say you must interview potential people you want to work with. Don't just find one coach name and do, well, everybody says they're good. No, you must talk to them and make sure. I mean, because you see me online, people see me online. I'm a coach. I'm a trainer. I'm around the freaking world. I can move a lot of people, but I may not be for you.
I think a good example for this, or is it a metaphor? I think a good one for this is if you've ever went to college and you had to choose a professor, there's like the same class is taught by 3 different professors. You go into one class and you go, oh. And so you turn around and you redo your schedule and you go to the other professor and you go, oh, wow, this actually makes sense now. Mm-hmm. I can actually do calculus or trig or, whatever the advanced maths are. I can't remember what it is. What's over calculus?
Differential. It's differential calculus. It's 4-dimensional calculus. Trust me.
I mean, it's just like I went my first year in college. It was that way. I went to a teacher and everybody, when I got done with that class, everybody said, well, if you'd have taken XYZ person, you would have walked out with probably a B. You took the hardest guy you could get, and he was a jerk, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to check personalities. It's even like podcasts. There are 15 billion business podcasts out there, but some of us, you'll get on it and they do. The importance of being in business is that you need to do da 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 da, and that's why I'm so great. No, thank you for me. But then you meet us, and we have random topics throughout the time, but we're very animated, and you get different personalities and different perspectives of things. And you might do, ooh, this is awesome. Let me share it with my friends. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So really, that's really what it is about coaching.
Foot tap.
You need to find a fit personality. It's almost like, I like to say dating. You can't just walk up to a coach and say, hi, you want to marry me? Because really what happens is your coaching relationship becomes a very strong bond. They know a lot about you. They know everything that's happening in your world because it affects how you think and how you're doing business. If, your dog just, passed away, you've got to address that. And your coach needs to know, okay, I'm going through some things. I need some time because my brain isn't working right now. So it's a relationship that you are building with this coach. And it starts off as an acquaintance, right? Then a friendship, and then a very strong friendship. And I see it as almost a marriage because they know so much about you. Okay.
So I got 2 things that I want to get into before we end up finishing up here.
Okay. I'm going to put an M in my mouth then.
Okay, you do that. So, Michael, put me in, coach. I'm ready.
Yeah, but he married me. Smart man. He needed a coach. He just married her.
It was cheaper. Goodness.
I don't know if I'm cheaper married to or not.
Anyway, one of the things that I've been looking at on Clubhouse, there's a lot of different rooms in there with a lot of different things. And some of that stuff is like, figure out how to make $1 million. we'll teach you how to make $1 billion, or we'll teach you, learn from the master who've made $3.5 zillion in 30 days. There's all these different types of rooms. Are those something that would be good for somebody like me, or is that even worthwhile, or is that somebody who needs to be at a higher skill level in order to listen to? I mean, how do you manage? Because in a way, those rooms are like coaches.
They are coaches.
So, and a lot of them in there are coaches. You're right. I mean, there's some really Tony Wadley and Grant Cardone.
Grant's in the lot.
Oh my goodness.
And well, my thing is, if you're on Clubhouse, you jump into rooms because you will learn from top coaches from every industry. And yes,
it's free.
Yeah, and it's free. My thing is, don't go find a personal coach, pay them $50,000 and you have no idea what their background is, and you're not ready to move. Why spend the money if you're not ready to move? Find a coach that you can afford, that you can see how your pace goes. That's why Clubhouse is awesome. You can jump into make $15 billion in 2 weeks from people who actually have, okay? And listen, just get into the room and listen. My thing is, so often people do, I'm going to hire this coach because they're going to help me make $100,000 a week. My first question is, have they made $100,000 a week?
Well, my first question is, have you made $100,000 a week?
No, if they're trying to learn, if they're learning to do that, then you want to go to someone who's done it. Just like I say, never write a book that says something, that claims something you haven't done. So find a coach. If they say, oh, we're going to help you make $50,000 over the weekend, have they made $50,000 over the weekend? And was it prostitution? I mean, really, because there's so many fake promises out there. I mean, I've had a coach come and tell me, if you had to make $50,000 in 2 days, what would you do? And I said, I'm a woman. Put me on the Vegas Strip. I'll make that money.
Michael says, put me in, coach.
So that was my thing. It's like, find out where that reality is really coming in when they say these big promises. When you get on Clubhouse, you will see the people who are leading those talks they're not just talking, they've walked that talk. So yes, be a freak and fly on the wall, get in there and listen. And if you're really, really good, raise your hand and actually ask a question. Because the first thing, like Grant Cardone says, is follow me. Sure, follow me.
Right.
And the thing is you can learn by just being a fly on the wall. The reason I said to know what kind of coach is working with you and what level you should be hiring, the key word is hiring. If you're going to be a fly on the wall in a Clubhouse mega room, be a fly. I'm not saying don't hire a coach, because you're going to need a coach to get you through things. But by listening to in these rooms will help you it'll help you be aware of what you really are seeking in your path. It will help the next coach do, oh, that's what you're after. Okay, we've got a plan. We can do this together. It's better than coming in blank and do, I have no idea. Coach, ask you a question. I have no idea. Okay, then you're not ready for me because you have no idea. By the time you come to a coach, you have to have a lot of questions in your head that you're wondering about, that you need someone to help you work through.
Right.
Okay. I'll get off my high horse.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Some days you got to take over. Some days I take over. So we're good.
I'm very passionate about coaching because I've seen so many lives change before my eyes. I mean, and quickly too. I mean, I've fired people.
Examples recently too, where
somebody was because they're moving so well. It's like, you know what? You don't need me. Just touch base. We'll do an a la carte. You keep going, and if you ever need me, a la carte me back in. But you don't need to stay with me weekly. This is silly. Go fly. Kick them out the nesting. Let them go.
Well, there's also another thing of competition within the coaching realm also too, that I think you've had some experiences with.
Oh yeah. There's high competition in coaching, but in my world, in my belief system, is there isn't competition in coaching. We all have different personalities that will attract or repel different people. The only time we have bad competition is when someone will purposely fish into another person's world. So like if they got a hold of my list somehow, let's say everybody on my Clubhouse list, and wrote each one of them and said, how much is Michelle charging you? Well, you can charge me less. I can do the same thing. That's wrong.
Ooh, that's dirty pool there.
That's dirty pool. So that's the kind of competition that happens in coaching. There's irreputable coaches, and then there's coaching. I share people with coaches where I do, you know what? I've got you to here, but who you need is you need this guy, because he's a marketing guru and he can get you through social media far beyond what I can help you with. I do a lot of referrals on my coaching because I believe we all have specialties. As coaches, we can get you to one level and then we can go into our specialty. But then there's so many things with business that it's like, okay, then maybe you should go to the next thing. And now you should go to the next thing. Hi, John. John says, yes, he likes the analogy of being kicked out of the nest. Fly, my friend, be free.
Well, there is that old saying, if it's an eagle and it comes, what is it? Set it free and it'll come back. It was meant to be.
Oh, I say, if you love someone, set them free. If they don't come back, hunt them down and shoot them. But now we can't say that anymore because some crazy people have been doing that. So no.
Yeah, you might get kicked off of some of these sites for something like that.
Yeah, don't do that. I'm just saying, when you are ready to move, find a coach. If you're just wallowing and you don't really know what to do, you find a coach that will help you decide which side of the fence you're going to be on. If you're ready to run, find a coach that will help you run. And then a coach that's willing to help you find the next coach to help you soar. And then that next coach needs to be able to say, you know what, let's fly together. Stop paying me. Let's just keep going. And that's the magic of coaching.
Well, I heard there was another one too. And this is when we first met. You used to say that people become my friends so I can become their coach.
All the time. Where's Marcel? Marcel's usually on these calls, and Michael said he doesn't care. Marcel's normally on these calls, and Marcel did that to me. She wanted to hire me at one point, and we went out for dinner, and we ended up started hanging out together. We went out to karaoke, and then one night we're out with another lady, and she says, the lady's like, oh, I really want to hire you. And no joke, Marcel looks back at her and says, you don't have to hire her, just be her friend. And she's always coaching. I'm like, what? I said, wait a minute, you're not my friend? She's, no, I'm your friend. But I'm like, does anybody really love me? Or are they just my friends so they can use me for free coaching?
Sounds like one of those crazy movies.
I know my husband loves me. He loves me. He says yes, dear, all the time. That proves it.
All right. Well, I think we're at the end of our timeline here. What do you think?
If no one has questions, then we should probably start wrapping up.
Okay. Well, maybe what are your top 3 things on finding a coach?
Top 3. Number 1, Google actually, it doesn't even have to be that way anymore. Your zip code, because now everything's virtual. I would search coaches under a name brand that you support. So like with me, it was John Maxwell or Cardone or whoever you like. What's his other name? Big guy. Tony Robbins. Whatever coaching people that you like on the big stage, Google their name and coaches. And they more than likely will have, oh, Ruben has questions on my page. Can you see my page?
Not on here.
Okay, well, I'll go to my page. So anyways, the other thing about it is, so number 1, find a guru of leadership or whatever it is that you actually enjoy and then search coaches. Then the next one is, number 2, is once you get that list, go through them. I want you to Facebook stalk them or LinkedIn stalk them. If they are real coaches, their LinkedIn profiles are not locked. So you'll be able to read them and see some of the content they put out. If you like that content, highlight them and put them on another list because you're going to reach out to them. Once that happens, then the number 3 is I want you to make appointments with all of them. I want you to write them through LinkedIn and say, hello, I saw your profile. I'm looking for a coach. Can we meet up so we can explore what we can do together? If they write you back and say, yes, I'd love to get on a call, or if they don't write you back, take them off the list. narrow it down, get through all of them, talk to them, and then you'll find your coach. And even if you don't find your coach, then you can say, do you know someone that would fit me well?
Okay. I have Ruben asked, must you have experienced failure or have a goal in order to need a coach?
No.
And I would agree.
Yeah.
No.
And to need a coach or want a coach, you just simply want a shift in your life. And basically, I have a TV show called Mental Shift, and it's not about failures per se to need a coach. It's more of an awareness change doing, I need and I want something different in my life. I need guidance to do so. So no, you don't have to fall in order to look for help. You can be walking just fine. You just want a guide.
Right. Well, it's just like, you take a famous tennis player. They all need coaches. I mean, let's even go when I can come up with a name real quick. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods even had a coach. He had a driving coach. He had different things like that. Even he was at the top of his game, at the winning this master and that master and everything else. He still had a coach.
Okay. Here's the thing. All coaches, all good coaches have coaches. That's another question you can ask. When you interview a coach, ask them who is coaching them. Because you can't practice what you preach. You know what I mean? You can't say, do as I say, but not as I do. Coaches have coaches. I have 6 coaches in different fields. Okay. So coaches have coaches. John Maxwell has a coach. He has 6 coaches. Okay. So keep that in mind. Tony Robbins has a whole bunch of coaches. Everyone learns from someone else. The thing about coaches is they see the blind spots in our own lives. So that's why even coaches should have coaches, because we are not all seeing. We are not all knowing. We are human, just like you. But we can look into your life just like we need a coach to look into ours.
Okay. I think that was a good place to end that, huh?
Oh.
What do you think?
I'm still trying to answer things, and I'm like, I can't get it.
Well, Nicholas said Ruben had questions, but I've only seen one.
Yeah,
and then there's another one we'll have to address later on offline.
Okay.
So,
yeah, because I can't even see it on my page.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking down. I don't even see comments.
Huh. I wonder where everything went.
Yeah, but I think Facebook's been acting really, really weird. Anyways, we're so glad we had this time together. But thank you so much for joining us. And if you could please, the next time we come on live every Friday is to share the live link. Our power is in the live link. And if you could like and subscribe to our YouTube page and our Facebook page, especially that YouTube page, we are so close, like 30 people away to change our name to Denim and Pearls. We'd appreciate that. Share it with your friends. And if you do have Clubhouse, join us over there. Follow Brian Swanson and Michelle Moras, and we can invite you to the Clubhouse room, because my thought process is after our Denim and Pearls live, we would do a Clubhouse, after party and talk one-on-one in that group about whatever we were talking about on Fridays.
Yeah. If Joanne Pounds is still on also, we can chat with her over there if she's got Clubhouse to answer her question.
Okay. I didn't see it.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been great. It's been fun.
Well, are you going to do it, or am I going to do it?
What am I doing?
Thank you for watching Denim and Pearls. My name is Michelle Ross, and this is my co-host,
Brian Swanson.
We are Pearls of Business Casual.
Oh, my goodness. Want to start that over?
No.
Hi. We're Denim and Pearls. My name is Brian Swanson, and this is
Michelle Ross.
We're business casual.
Pearls of wisdom from the proverbial porch. Thank you so much for joining us today, this Friday the 15th. We hope to see you next week, Friday. And in between, come say hi to us on our page. Give us some questions, some topics, or whatever you'd like us to share. Also, go to Clubhouse and follow us so we can get to chat rooms and keep having fun during the week. Sound good? All right.
Sounds good.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for sharing and for being with us, because you all rock. You know you do. And help! I need somebody. You might need a coach, and we can help you find a coach. Peace.
Peace.